Hello everybody and welcome to another Studio Series review. With the recent announcement of the up-and-coming Studio Series Drift, etc., I thought I'd take a look at a few more of these Studio Series Deluxe figures. This is of course the 26 World War II Bumblebee, one that kind of doesn't exist if you count Bumblebee, the movie, in the Bayverse fodder. So it's a very kind of irrelevant Bumblebee, so to speak. Quick look around the box. We've got Bumblebee on the side, Bumblebee on the back in both his vehicle and his bot mode, and we've got the Bumblebee, the Barricade and the Drift figure also in this series. And here we have him out of his packaging. Obviously we get these diorama pieces that we get with each and every Studio Series figure based on the Last Night movie scene. Moving that out of the way, this is a shoulda, woulda, coulda figure. It could have been something pretty special, but in my opinion, it's a little bit underwhelming. I think it's because we're getting the likes of Toy World giving us a Studio Series World War II figure. I can't think of the guy's name. I know that Mark Ryan done the voice for him. I just forget the name of the character, and he looks sensational. And this just looks like a big shell-forming Bumblebee, which is a real shame. I actually liked how Bumblebee looked in that World War II scene. He's got his huge hammer there, looks like it's made out of kind of cast iron, and he's got his really cool looking gun. But other than that, see, it's not really Bumblebee, is it? It's just a regular kind of army military style transformer with the Bumblebee head stuck on. There's nothing that screams Bumblebee other than that head. I do like this kind of military vibe going on though, with all of the rivets, and I just think it could have been done better. If they'd have done some sort of folding section on this back here, we could have made a half decent figure. And fortunately the joints are incredibly loose as well. Really not as I had intended. The arms aren't too bad. They're pretty nice and tight there. Nice bends on the elbow. But it's from the waist down. We get a nice loose waist and then just those flippy, floppy legs. And here he is alongside his 27 counterpart. That's the kind of rustic Chevy Bumblebee. And they do bear a kind of similar sort of height, etc. But I do prefer the head sculpt on this World War II Bumblebee. I think it's just something more kind of captivating about it, and he has more character, even with those ridiculously back heavy kibble. And he doesn't really want to stand up either. Those legs, they do not want to stay put. You can bend and twist and chop and change, but that is how they're designed to stand, and you really have to kind of bend them forwards to gain any sort of balance. And I just don't like that design. All it would have taken would have been a fold out heel spur and problem would have been solved. But as it stands, he doesn't stand. You have the option of adding the hammer onto the back there, but all that does is kind of just add to his inability to be able to balance with straight legs. Such a shame. Anyway, he does of course transform up, and to transform him we just need to remove the gun, untab these sections on the backs of the legs and bring those up. These wheel pieces are going to fold outwards on both sides. Feet are going to come around. These can then come together, and those are just going to push and tab in at the feet and on the bonnet section of the vehicle. This back panel piece lifts up, and this is going to unfold in true shell former style. And look at that, that almost looks like it's starting to stress already. These wheels come out and come out like so, rotate together at the same time. These are attached via a central point, so we can bring those both up and over. This piece here is going to slide down, which in turn brings Bumblebee's head down like so. And then these hinged pieces here just come down to the side. Fold the hands inwards like so. This is on a ball socket, it's going to roll over, and there's a tab just in there, that's going to tab in either side, like so, and like so. This panel here is then going to come down. You get to see the amazing build quality of Hasbro here. These panels just want to keep sliding off and off and off. They are not built like they are meant to be. There we go, that goes down, and they've snapped off again. Look, this is a common occurrence. It just happens all of the time. You know, Studio Series figures aren't cheap, you know, considering their size and what you get for your money. They're not cheap at all. You'd think that they build them so they don't fall apart all of the time. This back panel comes down, and that's just going to tab off the back of those wheels. Now, with the hammer on the top here, we can bend it. If for some reason you can't, you can just rotate this panel around. It may be that way as standard, but we want to rotate it so it comes around to this side, like so. This can then come up. This is going to rotate around, like so, so that you have your hammer on the underside like this. And then when this comes down, and then we just want to put the gun in on top, and that's kind of him all armored up. Mine does not want to tab and stay together. You move these back ones and the front ones pop out, and vice versa. But there we go, there is armored up Bumblebee in all of his glory. Yeah. Could do with a little bit of work. Could have done with a bit of die cast in there. Maybe an oversized version with die cast would be rather nice. Not a fan of these feet. It does roll just. The clearance is very, very minimal. I think I got the arms transformed right. They bend down, tab in underneath there, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of room for this hammer section at all. I really don't know if that's how it's meant to go. It looks like it does in the instructions, but as soon as you start sliding it down, it really does kind of come across some resistance. But that's how I have him anyway. He's not too bad. It's just not amazing, is it? It's not really Bumblebee in any sense. They could have made it any character and just put a different head on there, but instead they chose to play with the timeline and give us another Bumblebee. And for a quick scale comparison, here he is alongside his Chevrolet counterpart. I actually really like the transformation on this, and I love this style of Chevy as well. It really reminds me of the Ford Capri. It's got that same sort of slant, huge bonnet to it. Oh, I miss my Capri. At the same time, though, we've got really nice paint apps on here, but nothing at all on this bee at all. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Would you like to see any of these oversized? Which figures that are up and coming from the Studio Series would you most like to own? I know there's the Prime trailer from Dark of the Moon that transforms up into that kind of weapons station. We've got the various different Constructicons from the Revenge of the Fallen Devastator. There's a lot coming out. Still no Studio Series kind of triple changes though. We've got both sets of Drift in his helicopter and bot mode. You haven't got him being able to transform up into all three modes yet. The same with the Bumblebee Studio Series. We only have the individual Decepticons able to transform up into one form at present. I'd like to thank Robot Kingdom for making these reviews possible. I hope you found it useful. If you have, feel free to give it a big thumbs up, share, and of course subscribe. And until next time, from myself and Studio Series World War II Bumblebee, goodbye.